This is part 2 of my ranking Freida Mcfadden's books. Next in my list is number 7 is The Locked Door. And this back says, some doors are locked for a reason. While 11-year-old Nora Davis was up in her bedroom doing homework, she had no idea her father was killing a woman in the basement until the day the police arrived at their front door. Decades later, Nora's father is spending his life behind bars, and Nora is a successful surgeon with a quiet, solitary existence. Nobody knows about her past, and she'll do anything to keep it that way. One of her young female patients is murdered, killed in the same unique and horrific manner that her father used to kill his victims. Somebody knows who Nora is. Somebody wants her to take the fall for this unthinkable crime, but she's not like her father. The police can't pin anything on her as long as they don't look into her basement. From New York Times bestselling author Freida Mcfadden comes a riveting psychological thriller about guilt, secrets, and whether it's possible to outrun what's in our blood. So, characters. Nora Davis, a talented surgeon in her mid-30s living in Mountain View, California. She changed her last name to escape her father's infamy and is haunted by the psychological burden of being the handyman's daughter. The novel alternates between her childhood flashbacks, where she first discovered her father murdering women in their basement, and her present day as a surgeon falsely implicated in murders, mimicking his methods. Aaron Neerling, the handyman. Nora's father, Antonius Silliker, who butchered women with blue eyes and dark hair, earning the moniker the Handyman. Though imprisoned, his legacy casts a long shadow over Nora's life, fueling her fear that she might be inherently like him. Brady Mitchell, Nora's college ex-boyfriend, now a bartender at a local bar she frequents. His reappearance adds emotional complexity and romantic tension, but he becomes a red herring in Nora's mind when murders start occurring again. Philip, Nora's colleague and co-owner of their medical practice. He becomes a suspect amid the murders, but this turned out to be a misdirection. Harper, Nora's friendly receptionist studying biology on the side. Detective Aaron Locke, also referred to as Detective Gurner in some summaries. A detective assigned to investigate the copycat murders. He's also depicted as Nora's high school ex-lover, adding depth to their fraught dynamic. Plot twist. The murders are copycat killings, not her father's doing. At first, Nora fears her father, Aaron the handyman Neerling, might somehow be orchestrating murders from prison because the victims match his exact MO, dark hair, blue eyes, strangulation, but to reveal someone else is committing them in the present day, deliberately mimicking him to frame or torment her. The killer is someone Nora knows and trusts. Suspicion swings between multiple people, her ex-boyfriend Brady, her colleague Philip, even her neighbor, but all of these turn out to be red herrings. The real culprit is Harper, Nora's receptionist, who has been right under her nose the entire time. Harper is actually Nora's half-sister. This is the big emotional gut punch. Harper is the secret daughter of Aaron Neerling from one of his victims. She grew up idolizing the father she never knew and blames Nora for abandoning him. Her murders are both a homage to him and a way to force Nora into the role of an accomplice daughter he deserves. Harper's plan is deeply personal revenge. Harper's ultimate goal isn't just to kill, it's to ruin Nora's life, destroy her reputation, and force her to embrace her heritage as a handyman's daughter. She carefully chose victims and staged evidence to implicate Nora, manipulating everyone's suspicions. The locked basement door, past and present, is the thread that ties it all together. As a child, Nora discovered her father's hidden murder room behind a locked basement door. In the climax, she is trapped in a similar situation with Harper, similarly confronting the same evil she faced in her youth, only this time she's the one holding the metaphorical key to end it. The final confrontation leaves a shadow over Nora's future. Even after Harper's caught, the ending leaves questions about whether Nora can ever truly escape her father's legacy and whether the darkness is in her blood. Next book, number 6, is Do Not Disturb. Always waiting, always watching. Quinn Alexander has committed an unthinkable crime, so she makes a run for it. She leaves behind her home, her job, and her family and races to the northern border before the police can discover what she's done. But an unexpected snowstorm forces her off the road. Quinn is forced to take refuge at a broken-down, isolated Baxter motel. The handsome and kindly owner, Nick Baxter, is only too happy to offer her a cheap room for the night. Unfortunately, the Baxter motel isn't the quiet, safe haven it seemed to be. The motel has a dark and disturbing past, and in the Cuban cake house across the way, the silhouette of Nick's ailing wife is always at the window, watching. In the morning, Quinn will leave the motel. She'll pack up her belongings and get back on the road to freedom, but first she must survive the night. The New York Times bestselling author Freida Mcfadden delivers a Hitchcock-style psychological thriller that races to a shocking, unforgettable conclusion. Characters. Quinn Alexander, the protagonist. Quinn is a woman fleeing after her killing her abusive husband, Derek, in self-defense. She seeks refuge at the Baxter Motel, grappling with paranoia and the psychological aftermath of trauma and abuse. She struggles to trust those around her, including Nick, Rosalie, and Greta, as well as her own sister, Claudia. Her ultimate role is that of sacrifice, that of a survivor and someone seeking agency and a new beginning. Derek Alexander, Quinn's husband. Derek is abusive and manipulative. His murder at the hands of Quinn sets the story in motion. Nick Baxter, owner of the Baxter Motel. Nick initially appears kind and hospitable. However, his past is shrouded in mystery, and he is a suspect in a past murder at the motel, creating an atmosphere of unease around him. He demonstrates empathy towards Quinn as narrative progresses and plays a role in her survival. Rosalie Baxter, Nick's ailing wife. Rosalie is a mysterious figure who watches the motel from her window. Confined by illness and haunted by her past, her perspective reveals insights into the motel's dark history, and the secrets within. Despite her struggles with depression, she plays a vital part in the story's climax and in saving Quinn. Claudia, also referred to as Elizabeth. Quinn's older sister, Claudia, initially seems supportive, but harbors deep resentment and jealousy towards Quinn. Her hidden affair with Derek and her escalating violence reveal her as the story's antagonist. She is the one who betrays Quinn and attempts to frame others for her crimes. Greta, a long-term resident of the motel, Greta presents as an eccentric fortune-teller who gives cryptic warnings to Quinn. Her true role, revealed late in the story, is that of a protector who has intervened in the past to eliminate perceived threats to Rosalie, even committing murder. Rob Delaney, Claudia's husband. Rob is initially unaware of Claudia's secrets and betrayal. His discovery of Claudia's duplicity adds another layer of complexity to the unfolding drama. Scott Dwyer, Quinn's high school boyfriend, now a police officer. Scott is involved in the investigation. He represents a more sympathetic figure and plays a role in Quinn's trial and subsequent recovery. Plot twist. Quinn is on the run for killing her abusive husband, Derek. This is revealed early on, setting the stage for Quinn's desperation to escape and the tension surrounding her stay at the Baxter Motel. Claudia is having an affair with Derek. This revelation adds a new layer to the conflict between the sisters and explains some of Claudia's actions and resentment toward Quinn. The motel owner, Nick Baxter, and his wife, Rosalie, are not the threat they seem to be. Initially, Mcfadden leads the reader to believe Quinn is in danger from Nick and his ailing wife. However, their backstory reveals a different truth, and they become allies to Quinn. Claudia is the true antagonist, driven by jealousy and resentment. Claudia, consumed by rage and rivalry, stabs Quinn and leaves her for dead in an attempt to cover her tracks. She attempts to eliminate anyone who could expose her, including Rosalie. Rosalie fights back and subdues Claudia. Despite her initial frail appearance, Rosalie, with the help of Nick, manages to fight off Claudia's attack and alert the authorities. Greta is revealed as Christina Marsh's killer. The mysterious fortune-teller Greta, who issues warnings and cryptic messages, is revealed to have killed Christina Marsh, the woman murdered in room 201 years ago. She did so to protect Rosalie from Nick's infidelity. Quinn survives and is acquitted of Derek's murder. Thanks to Nick's testimony and evidence of Derek's abuse, Quinn is acquitted of the charges and begins to rebuild her life. Greta escapes and Rosalie decides to name her child Greta. Greta reveals her true role in Christina's death to Rosalie, but escapes before the police can arrest her. Rosalie, having a newfound appreciation for Greta's intentions, names her newborn child Greta.